As a godly person, there seems to be two types of people that you attract. You have pure haters and pure admirers, or people that respect and revere you. There's really no in between. And me, myself, I get a lot of love and a lot of hate wherever I go. But you know what's really fascinating is the more that you grow closer to God on your journey, and the more that you really establish who it is that you're aiming to be and you're striving to be and continuing to be, the more you're going to attract the kinds of people that actually appreciate having people like you in their lives. And you're going to incite and evoke certain emotions in people. But mostly, for the most part, once you get to a certain point, you really just start to have the world seem to begin to want to be around you and give you things and give you opportunities and work with you or share with you. And it's very profound, because it's absolutely true that the more that you give to other people, the more that you know how to give what people want to them, the better that they treat you. Now, of course, not everybody's going to be wanting quality, righteous things, but I will say that how you invest yourself and the ways in which you invest yourself ought to be focused on the outcomes that are going to be derived from those investments, rather than just the fleeting emotional qualities and the tapestry of emotion that's veiled over you in certain times. What you want to make sure that you are focusing on is harnessing the capacity for inner strength, harnessing the capacity for courage, and sharing your joy and your jubilance for life, and this exuberance, rather, for life as well. You want to share this as much as you can with people. And when you are being the kind of person that others want to be around, something very profound occurs. Something very profound happens, in which you seemingly start to attract the kinds of people that were always meant to be in your life. But because of certain obstacles that you had to go through, and certain skills you had to develop and experiences you had to experience along the way, they were not there. But it's almost like they were always there to begin with. You just have yet to fully come into yourself as a person. But make no mistake that God's timing is real. like when God sees that you're ready, God's going to give you that next level. God's going to give you that next, whatever it is that you need next. God is going to give that to you. And it's very profound, and it's very thought-provoking, and it's very humbling to see this kind of stuff. To see the causal occurrences through time that are because of your choices, and to see them actually not be causing certain consequences or causing certain things. You're just simply witnessing the experience of doing those things. And you see, it's because consciousness is always trying to expand. Consciousness is always trying to expand itself and to learn more. And especially as a man, we want to create space. You should have an effect on the environment that you're in, whether you are speaking or not, if you're a man. Absolutely. Because if you're not, then that means that you're not being who you really are. Well, why would it be the case that you're not being who you really are and having an effect on your environment? Like, where's the parallel between those exactly, right? Like, what exactly is the form in which has the sequence of events that is tied together like that? Well, what that is that you start to have a presence about you. You have certain kinds of levels of confidence or modes of being that you've incorporated into your life to really cascade yourself into something and manifest something beautiful, and to really exert your energy into the world. The world is not exerting itself onto you. Now, sometimes it can, like we don't have a choice. Sometimes, well, we always have a choice how to respond, but we don't always have a choice on what's happening or what's going on around us or what other people are choosing to do, right? Like we don't have a choice about the perverts that are in the governments that are trying to take over the world, and all these elites and everything that are trying to destroy the planet. Like we don't have a choice on what they're thinking about and how they're going to plan things and what they're going to do. We don't have a choice in that, but we get to choose how to respond to it. We can either lie down and, play dead, I guess, and then until we are dead, or we can actually move forward with a sense of zest and vigor and incorporate that inner godlike savage within us that refuses to give up. Because, I have that inner godlike savage in me that just, there's been so many times I've wanted to quit in my life. There's just so many times where I've wanted to stop. And I just don't. I just don't know how to stop sometimes. And it's actually something that I'm working on, is learning how to relax and learning how to chill, because sometimes I can go full throttle so much because I hate to lose more than I love winning. And I just don't like to man, I really hate losing. Like I like to be the best. And it's not about a pride thing. It's just I like to be the best me that I can be. If I go out, let's say, to the basketball court or the gym or whatever, or going on a run, and I know that I could have done more than I could have, like I did actually. I could have done more than I did. That hurts me. But if I do what I can and I give it my all and then I still lose, I hate that. But I know that I gave it my all. I know that I gave it my all. And so I use that hatred for losing as fuel. But I think we also need to recognize that the concept of winning and the concept of losing, it is exactly that. It's a concept. But if you view yourself as a winner, if you see yourself as a winner, I mean, this is going to be something that makes people want to be around you and like you even more. Like when you are being somebody that people just want to be around, everybody wants to be around a winner. I cannot tell you how many freaking DMs I get sometimes where, I have people reaching out to me. This is the craziest thing. I have people reaching out to me and they'll say something like, "Oh, I love your content, and I really appreciate this message that you gave." And I'm like, "Wow, hey, thank you. I appreciate you're reaching out." Just if that's all they're gonna say, and I'm not gonna push for any sale or anything. Like, I'm just not that kind of person, because I know that I attract what people like. I'm gonna attract the kinds of people that want certain things. So if I have one-on-one consultations or one-on-one mentorship calls that people are interested in, they're going to reach out to me for that. And some people maybe respond in certain ways to certain things on how, like if I say this to them back, "I appreciate you," because I do. But if I say this back, and then they say, "Hey, I was also thinking about a one-on-one. What does that entail?" It's one thing like to do something like that, but it's another for people to say, "Hey, I appreciate your message and whatever." And I say, "Oh, hey, thanks for reaching out." And then they give me a video. They give me a Loom video or whatever. And it's like this, it's like them pitching me an idea for like they're trying to sell me something. And it's like, I can respect that this person is reaching out for the sell, but you can't sell to a salesman, right? Like you can't sell to somebody that knows how to sell things. Like they know what you're doing, right? And so when I see somebody reaching, "Hey, I love this video," and they act like they're just, they're just they're just somebody that wants to reach out and appreciate, which is great. But then they flip the script and they're like, oh, by the way, here's this thing I want you to buy. It's like, this is like going out to dinner, like you inviting me out to dinner, and then you're leaving as the check comes. Like that, that doesn't make sense, man. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And it's honestly a little bit insulting sometimes. It can be insulting. And so I would encourage anybody that's watching this that wants to like reach out to somebody, just reach out to them. Okay, if you want to sell something to somebody and they know how to sell things, just reach out to them. Just be direct. You know, because those people, they're not going to fall for your games. Okay, they know the game. They know the game because they play the game. Do you want to be like, if you are somebody that thinks that like this person's a player of the game, right? Of life, let's say. And you act like they're not a player of the game. You're just flattering them. And it's by definition insulting. But anyway, it's just funny to see those kinds of messages sometimes because it's just, you don't know what you're actually saying to me right now. You don't know what you're actually portraying yourself to be. This is actually kind of a D-bag move, honestly. But anyway, people want to be around you more when you're doing well and when you're winning. Who doesn't want to be around a winner, right? Who doesn't want to be around somebody that's striving to live what is true and let die what is false and looks good doing it? Who doesn't want to be around that kind of person, right? So you've got to take everything with a stride, and sometimes with a grain of salt, because even the haters, like I've never met a hater that I would want to trade places with, you know? I've never met somebody that I would be like, if this person was hating on me and I would say, yeah, I would, I'm actually jealous of this kind of person's life. Nah, I'm not jealous of anybody, really. I love myself and I love my life. And of course, like the way that I see it is, I actually had a question on a consultation call a couple weeks ago, maybe it was a few weeks ago. And this person was like, hey, you have like a certain niche and there are other people in your niche, right? How did he phrase the question? It was more like, what makes you stand out to some degree? And like, if other people are doing better than you, then how do you feel about that? Something like that. And this was toward the end of the call, just kind of an extra bonus question. And I said, well, if this person's in my niche and they're doing better than me, it's probably for a reason. I think there's plenty of pieces for the pie to go around. Okay, there's plenty of stuff to eat around here. I don't really have a lack mindset. I don't really have a abundance mindset per se. I just know that with my faith, God will give me what I need. I don't need any mindset apart from my faith, really. If you were to think about it absolutely critically, you don't need anything other than faith. So I would say, well, then at that point, if this person is doing better and they have better things to say, good for them. Round of applause for them. But honestly, I don't see anybody doing what I'm doing. I think a lot of people are trying to do things that I'm doing, but I'm revolutionizing spirituality and psychology and relationships in a way that nobody else on YouTube that I see or on X or anywhere else is really doing. I genuinely believe that a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about and the kinds of ideas that I'm bringing forth to the table are pioneer-like qualities. And I myself get a little nervous going into the realm of uncertainty because it's like sometimes you don't realize how impactful life can truly be when you start to realize that there are pathways that you can take that nobody knows about, like except for you. That like it feels like that. And so sometimes I need to like hold myself back and be like, okay, it might not be the case that I am the first person to see this kind of lifestyle or life path that I can take right here. I might not be the first, but I sure as hell don't see anybody else talking about the kind of path that we can take right here if we wanted to. I'm going forward. I'm moving into the unknown. I love it. I love being a pioneer. The person that you become in the realms of uncertainty often are attributed to the kind of character that you have as a unique human being. Everybody's unique. I have not met one person that is exactly the same as another. I really have not. It is my experience that every single person that I've met has been entirely different. It's not like they haven't had the same qualities as certain people, or they haven't had the same kinds of behaviors as certain people, but it's like I've yet to see even one narcissist. I haven't seen one narcissist be the same as the other narcissist. They use the same kind of strategies and they use the same kind of tactics, but they are not the same person by any stretch of the imagination. So what that tells me is that in nature, nobody like you is ever going to exist again. And when you know that, when you truly harness that in your core of your being, it's almost a relief. It actually is a relief. Now that I'm thinking about it, it actually is a relief. And it's a relief because you get to do what you want to do in this life. And we're going to do what we're going to do. Obviously, I'm not going to say to encourage degeneracy or destruction or violence or anything like that, but I encourage everybody to create what they want to create, be who they want to be. You have to become that person. Mike Tyson once said that you have to be it before you become it. And I think that's entirely true. You have to have that fighter mentality with you. You have to know that they are that you are who you say you are. And sometimes God will test you to see if you're actually who you say you are. But the thing is, many people in this life are not living up to their potential. And I myself am doing my best to live up to my own potential. I would despise myself not being able to live up to my own potential. Like, in fact, I am more scared of being on the other side, whatever the side of life is, whatever that means. I'm more scared of seeing Jesus Christ on the other side and him saying, "Depart from me, I never knew you." I'm more scared of that and not reaching my full potential than anything else in this life. Anything else. It doesn't matter. Like, I move with boldness, I move with courage, and I know who I'm meant to be, and I know who God made me to be. And that's a blessing in of itself. But anyways, guys, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope that it was useful and insightful for you. If you do want to join the Regal Change Academy, and maybe you want to learn more about it and the group and the online school itself, go ahead and book a free 15-minute call with one of the team members of the Regal Change Academy, and we'll get on a call for 15 minutes, just go over your questions or anything like that, and just talk and have a conversation, get to know each other so that we can move forward and really encourage that growth that you need in a community sometimes, and just to have that accountability. The accountability thing is really a big quality of having a group like this, and staying accountable is going to be really the key to growth overall, because sometimes growth doesn't want to sometimes you just need to grow. Like, I'm looking at my bean plants right now, right? I've got pinto beans in my window well thing here, and man, they're growing way faster than I thought. Which is a good thing, but I'm just marveled. Like, I'm marveled at how fast they are truly growing. And so I'm like looking at them and I'm like, man, sometimes growth doesn't wait. Like, it just happens, and you got to be ready for it. I'm also doing one of two different kinds of one-on-one mentorships right now. The first is just a general one-on-one. The second one is a full life upheaval for a godlike mastery initiation program. And this is going to be a 3-month program where we go and we dive into 3 stages. Stage 1 is the physical, stage 2 is the emotional and intellectual, and stage 3 is the spiritual. And then we have this alchemized process in which you are able to manifest whatever you need. This is only for people that have the finances and the time to do this kind of thing, all right? But with all that being said, I hope that this message was useful and insightful for you. I hope you all stay blessed and have a blessed evening. Peace until next time.